We've made it to the final group of Euro 2020, and it's the group of death. On paper, it's one of the scariest Euros groups I've ever seen, and it definitely deserves its title, the group of death. Before we get into it, do make sure to like the video, subscribe to the channel, share the channel. You know how this works by now. Current world champions, Euros runners-up, and tournament favourites France are joined by Nations League winners and defending champions Portugal, as well as another European superpower in 2014 World Cup winners Germany. And then there's Hungary. The obvious thing to do is write off Hungary immediately. And even though I do think they will finish bottom, I don't think it's going to be easy as it appears. After all, Hungary have lost just once in their last 13 games, so they aren't just going to roll over and be group whipping boys. It would be great to see Hungary do well, but I think they've just been so unfortunate in the group they've been given, and I don't really expect them to get more than 1 point. Portugal, on the other hand, are defending champions, and if anything, their team's just got better and better since they last won the Euros in 2016. Ronaldo's obviously still the main man. However, he's not the sole attacking threat by any means. He'll be supported by Bruno Fernandes, who's been one of the best players in the Premier League this season, Diego Jota, who's been excellent for Liverpool and is going to offer a real goal threat down that left-hand side. Premier League winner Bernardo Silva will probably take up the right-hand flank, and he'll offer trickery, great dribbling, lovely interplay of passes, and with midfield options like Ruben Neves, Carvalho, Moutinho, and even League winner Renato Sanchez, Portugal have plenty of options in both attack and midfield. And that's not even including Andre Silva, who's had a bit of a revival at Frankfurt, scoring 28 Bundesliga goals this season, or João Felix, who's won the La Liga title with Atletico Madrid. And Portugal are also stacked at the back. João Cancelo and Ruben Dias have been the world's best right-back and centre-back respectively this season. Semedo is another quality right-back, and he might not even get any game time. And whilst Pepe and Jose Font are 38 and 37 respectively, they have an outstanding amount of experience between them, which is potentially only rivaled by the Italian centre-half partnership. Combined with the youth and quality of Diaz, Portugal are going to be a menace to opposition forwards. They're even stronger left-back, with either Guerreiro or 18-year-old Nuno Mendes being pretty good options. Goalkeeper also isn't an issue for them. They've got two high-quality goalkeepers in Patricio or Lopez, and I think you can make a very strong case to say that Portugal might have the second strongest starting 11 in the whole competition. So, which nation has the best starting 11 and the best squad? France. Their B team would probably get to the quarterfinals, never mind their first team. There's a reason why they're tournament favourites. They didn't finish as runners-up at the previous Euros and then win the World Cup for nothing. Just listen to this potential starting 11. Lloris, Pavard, Kimpembe, Varane, Hernandez, Kante, Pogba, Mbappe, Griezmann, Coman, Benzema, and then there's all the options on the bench I didn't even mention. It's actually pretty mad how good they are. Despite all that offensive talent, don't expect for 1 second for France to be this free-flowing in attack and open in defence team. Far from it. There is no way in which Deschamps will set up his side to be exposed at the back, particularly in such a strong group. As we saw at the World Cup they won, part of the reason why they won was because they were so defensively resolute, and I can't imagine them conceding too many goals at this tournament. They'll control games, they'll be patient, and they'll use their pace on the break where appropriate. Mbappe is constantly being perceived as the heir to Messi's throne, and if he's able to help France win the Euros, then those perceptions are only going to increase. A number of France's squad will also have the opportunity to complete football if they win this Euros. Unless I'm missing something, France don't really have any obvious weaknesses, but they clearly aren't invincible. Anything can happen in football. For example, France failed to advance to the finals of the 2019 Nations League, losing out on goal difference to the Netherlands, and they also failed to beat Turkey in Euros qualification. The only thing you can maybe say going against France is the fact that because they're so well known, defending world champions, tournament favourites, they will be the team to beat. But I think I'm clutching at straws there, to be honest. I do think they'll finish as group winners of the group of death. Last team in this group is Germany. And Germany is such a weird team. They were shambolic at the recent World Cup, not even making it out of their group, and Joachim Löw basically forced some of the more senior players to retire from international football. Think of Hummels and Muller. And that was because of the poor World Cup performance and subsequent poor Nations League performance. However, those two are back in the fold now. It's a really weird situation there. Clearly, the attempted total squad overhaul just didn't work. On paper, Germany have some great players. I've already mentioned Hummels and the Raumdeuter Thomas Muller, but they can also call on World Cup winner Manuel Neuer in goal. He's been much less impactful since his injuries, and he does have a mistake in him. However, he is still an elite goalkeeper. There are plenty of other Bayern talents in that side as well. Kimmich is one of the best auxiliary players in the world. Sane and Gnabry, whilst having questionable moustaches, are still incredibly excellent, pacey, tricky, exciting wingers, and with their pace and dribbling abilities, no defender is going to want to come up against them. Goretzka will miss the opening game against France due to injury, however he should be available for the other group games. And with other midfield options like Gundogan and Toni Kroos, they're pretty stacked in midfield anyway. The Chelsea trio of Werner, Havertz and Rudiger will also have an opportunity to prove themselves at some point, and there are so many other players I could have named. As has been the case though for Germany since they won the World Cup in 2014, the issue's never been of lack of individual quality. Clearly, they have a lot of individual quality. And I'm not even sure you can pinpoint Germany's issues to one single explanation. I don't really understand it myself. Like, how can that talented group I've just named lose 6-0 to Spain and then lose to Macedonia 2-1 at home? Germany have so much to prove at this Euros, and I think the group of death is a perfect opportunity for them to try to silence the critics. They can either conquer their demons of the past, or they can absolutely capitulate and prove all the doubters correct. I do think Germany will finish both behind Portugal and France in this group, but I think they'll still qualify as one of the best placed third place teams, assuming they can get in a good win against Hungary. Germany is such a weird team and so tricky to predict. They might even finish first or second in this group. That's if they can get their act together though, and that is a big if. Equally, I wouldn't be surprised if they finish rock bottom without a single point. Regardless of what happens, this is going to be a really exciting group. It's definitely the group with the most amount of talent and quality within it. So my final rankings for this group are France at the top, then Portugal, then Germany in third, but still to qualify, and then poor Hungary at the bottom. Right guys, that's all of the group previews done. I really hope you guys have enjoyed these previews. The next video you see on this channel will be me just running through my predictions for the entirety of Euro 2020. So I've already given it an insight into my group stage predictions, which I'll briefly cover in that video, but I will obviously go one step further. We'll predict and preview the entirety of the knockout rounds, and then obviously we will end with who I think is going to win Euro 2020. That video should come out on the day of the tournament, just before it starts, so do be sure to stay tuned for that and see where I think each team is going to end up in the tournament as a whole. If you like the sound of that, make sure to subscribe to the channel to stay updated. Make sure to share this channel with a friend if you've already subscribed, or an enemy. Do what you want. But either way, if you could like the video, that'd be great. Also make sure to join us on our football live streams and watch alongs. We stream on both Twitch and YouTube at the same time for your convenience. Username LNobbins. Hope to see you there. But until then, have a good day and enjoy the Euros.